and the All Indiana Podcast Network. This is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Jenkins, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 Podcast for Tuesday, January 28th. We begin with news on Indy's far west side. An Indianapolis mom is due to appear in court today after police arrested her in the death of her 2-year-old. IMPD arrested Chantel Gardner this past Saturday. Police say she called officers to her apartment on Aberdeen Drive, claiming her daughter Skylar Gardner was under a dresser and cold to the touch. The girl was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say they found trash, human feces, and steak knives on the floor, to the point where the floor wasn't even visible. Officers say that Gardner told them she would often leave her daughter and 3-year-old son home alone for several hours a day and would only check on them once a day. Right now, Gardner is facing a preliminary charge of neglect resulting in death. In Elkhart, 2 people are dead and 2 officers are injured after a police-involved shooting. This following an earlier incident of gunfire at a grocery store. Elkhart police say around 5:30 yesterday evening, a 911 call came in. It was about a shooting at a Martin supermarket location. Investigators found 2 people dead from gunshot wounds inside the store. Authorities say they engaged the shooter outside the store. Then an exchange of gunfire ensued, killing the suspect and wounding 2 officers. At last check, 1 officer is reported to be stable, while police say the other was treated and released from a hospital. It is not yet clear what led up to that original shooting. In Hamilton County, the sheriff's office has decided to take a different approach than other law enforcement agencies, saying it will work to enforce at least some federal immigration laws. News 8's Britt Noble reports.
This is the first department in the state to team up with ICE, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Program. This only applies to people arrested for crimes unrelated to their immigration status. The sheriff's office says Hamilton County will hold undocumented immigrants with criminal charges in jail until federal authorities begin legal proceedings. We're told deputies are not authorized to make immigration arrests. Chief Deputy John Lowe says federal officials will train deputies to manage the program.
What we're going to do is make sure through our commission that we are holding public forums, talking to individuals, and sharing data, sharing information to make sure there's that accountability, that transparency. But at the same time, the training and the program is set up to that we are only focusing on people that have committed crimes, and so they will already be in our jail.
Well, the American Immigration Council reports as historically, ICE does not provide sufficient training to agencies involved in the program. The council also argues such programs can lead to racial profiling and increased arrest of people with minor criminal histories. Hamilton County move? It's the opposite of what's happening here in Indianapolis. The police chief here says his officers have no intention in participating in the 287G program. He says that enforcing federal immigration law is not the role of his department.
That was Britt Noble reporting. In other news, concerns are rising in the LGBTQ community after President Trump signed an executive order that could ban transgender people from serving in the military. The president ordered Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to revise the Pentagon's policy on transgender troops. You may recall, he tried to ban trans troops during his first term, but it was tied up in court challenges and was later overturned by the Biden administration. The executive order also reinstates troops who had left or been kicked out of the military for refusing COVID-19 vaccines. And now to IT Made. Thousands of nitrous oxide tanks, better known as laughing gas, have been seized from Indiana retailers. The state commission says most were being sold illegally at gas stations, convenience stores, even tobacco sellers. News 8's Kat Sandoval reports.
The sale of nitrous oxide or laughing gas is no laughing matter. It's illegal to sell for the purpose of getting high. And ATC tells me they confiscated 15,000 illegal canisters of gas just this year.
That in some cases it was stored behind the counter and only offered for sale once there was a request for intoxicating substances. So that certainly seems like they understand it's not the average commodity that they have on their shelves.
ATC tells me 18 businesses around the state have been cited. Some of the businesses could face fines or have their licenses revoked. Employees could also face criminal charges.
Some of the stores were actually giving instructions on how to use it to get intoxicated, or providing balloons or other paraphernalia that's used to consume it.
The odorless gas is often used as a sedative or anesthesia in a medical setting. While that's legal, the commission is sounding the alarm on recreational use.
The danger is if you're consuming it and not getting the right amount of oxygen after you consume it, it can cause brain damage, heart attack, or in the most extreme circumstances, death.
The ATC believes some sellers were targeting minors with flavors like blue raspberry and watermelon. The commissioner sent this letter to over 8,000 tobacco sellers throughout the state. It's a reminder that selling this gas is illegal and they could face penalties or criminal prosecution. And they also are encouraging the public to report any illegal activity. Reporting in Indianapolis, I'm my teammates Kat Sandoval, Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
Let's talk sports. In boys high school basketball, Cathedral High School has bragging rights again. They faced off against Crispus Attucks for the third straight year in the city championship finals. Attucks had won the last two, but Cathedral pulled away in the fourth quarter with a basket from Aiden Hughes on the transition. Cathedral wins the boys city championship over Crispus Attucks 71-63. When it comes to the weather, we are warming things back up. Storm Track 8 says we can expect sunny and seasonably mild conditions today. Meteorologist Tara Hastings has your News 8 Daily 8 forecast.
Already at 37 degrees. Now, the normal high for this time of year is 37. I think we're going to climb into the 40s later today. Right now, the winds out of the southwest at 11 miles per hour, and that is making those feels-like temperatures much closer to 30 degrees right now. We are at 32 in Richmond, 37 in Kokomo, Muncie, also in Washington, and look at Evansville already at 43 degrees this morning. We do have mostly sunny skies across the entire state, and I think we're in store for another bright blue sky here for the day today. Our next storm system is well out to the west of us, and that's going to take several days to even get close to here. So today we'll continue to climb into the 40s heading into the afternoon. We'll go with a high today right around 44, 45 degrees. Now let's talk about the winds, because at times today it is going to be a bit breezy. We'll see those winds picking up and gusting maybe about 20, 25 miles per hour. In some spots, we could hit about 30 miles per hour. We'll go with 44 degrees today in Indianapolis, mid and upper 40s across parts of the southern part of the state, and even near 50 in Evansville. We'll talk about how long these great temperatures will last and if we have any rain or snow in our forecast coming up in a few minutes.
To get a peek at Tara's full forecast, just head over to wishtv.com. And don't forget, conditions will change throughout the day, so to make sure you have the most up-to-date forecast, just download the Wish TV Storm Track 8 app. And for a more detailed look at conditions, you can check out the Storm Track 8 weather blogs. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 podcast for Tuesday, January 28th. I'm Jeremy Jenkins for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.